Hello, everyone. I hope you all are having a wonderful late afternoon. My name is Yvette, known as Creative Renee, and I like to share my story with you all. I'm not a good storyteller, and I don't have a very good memory as far as how to tell a story, so bear with me. I wrote mine out the best way I know how. So, here it goes. My story of my afflictions and my pain started when I was 4 years old in my early childhood. When I was 4 years old, I endured sexual assault from the next door neighbor, who was a woman that my mom considered to be a friend. Moving on. First story. Second story. My first marriage had its highs and lows, but this is where God taught me the valuable lessons about friendship and marriage. Because my first husband was overbearing, but he always tried to keep his family together. But sometimes you can be so protective that you make a person want to get away from you by being physically abusive. He had a bad temper. If I took my wedding band off, he would say, he will swallow my wedding band if I didn't put it back on. We were riding in a car, and if I didn't agree with him, he would start punching the roof of the car, and he would do figure eights when he got upset in the car. My first husband was abusive psychologically and physically. When he would get mad if we were in a car with him, he would drive you in a car like he was out of control. If he didn't see eye to eye about things that you had to question him about, he had a bad temper, and he would treat me more like he was my dad instead of being my husband. But for the most part, he wasn't a bad man, and he loved his family. Next story. I got married in 2017 to a man that I knew for 48 years. I had a child with this man that I thought I knew. During the time that we were co-parenting, I got married to him, and God said he was going to show me with spiritual eyes who I got married to. When within the matter of 2 weeks of being a newlywed, that relationship took a turn because this man, who was my husband, turned out to be the worst of them all, showing me his real character. If you didn't agree with him, he became a demonic spirit. He would say you were crazy. He would call me a bitch. If we went out to shop, he would make a spectacle of himself in front of other people by calling me out of my name in front of others. He would say I was too sensitive, and he was being disrespectful to my spirit. So over time, he would tell lies about my character because I found out who he really was, and he was bisexual. He was seeing men, he was seeing gays, trannies, and cross-dressers, homosexuals. So because I found out about who he really was, he sent someone to kill me at my house. And I wouldn't just say try to kill me because my daughter was living with me at the time, and so was my grandson. So over time, he couldn't get me through who he sent to kill me because I called the police on him. And this person jotted. It jotted out of, wherever he went. he wasn't around. But over time, that didn't work. So then he tried to do a ritual on me. And I used to walk the grounds of my property every day, but he would be at work, so he didn't know that. And so this particular day when I walked the grounds of my property, I bumped into the bones that he had laid, where I laid my head. He was the only one knew where I slept at in my bedroom, in my house. So he put these bones in my yard by where I laid my head. He dug up a hole by where he put the bones. And the reason why I know it was a ritual done on me is because there was a funeral home that I had never experienced dealing with. These people would call me like 3 times, and my aunt was a pastor. And so my aunt said, "Oh, I know what's going on." And I said, "I think I know what's going on too." And over time, it all filtered out as him doing a ritual, hoping that I would die with whatever they were trying to do behind my back. So what's ever hidden in the dark will come out into the light. He also had took some kind of gunk, and he had put this gunk in my cabinets in my kitchen. And I didn't know that he had did this until he got in his car accident the week after I found these bones and this ritual he was trying to do. And he was coming to see me one day, and he got in a car accident down from a bridge, a Mississippian bridge. In the intersection, on his way to come see me, he got hit in that intersection. I was not with him, but he came to my house that morning and he said, "Can you take me to go get my car out of the impound?" And I said, "Well, what happened to you? Because you don't look like yourself. There's something wrong. You need to go to the hospital." And he said, "I'm not going to no hospital." And I knew why he didn't want to go to the hospital, because he had had several amputations and on his toes from having diabetes. And so he didn't want to go to the hospital. And so I took him to go get his car out of the impound. And when I went to take him to go get his car out of the impound, I, kept persisting on him going to the hospital because I could see that something wasn't right with his demeanor, looking at him, but he would not go. And so over time, he wound up coming back to my house trying to make it to work. And when he was trying to make it to work, he came back and he told me, he asked me to take him to the hospital. And I did take him to the hospital. I stayed there with him until about 4 o'clock that day. And he wound up having to stay. So I left, and eventually he called his family. But he was doing a lot of evil things against me because I found out what he was doing behind my back. And he tried to take me over a bridge. And apparently, when he tried to take me over a bridge, this in return came out to him. So through it all, God kept me in perfect peace. Isaiah 26, verse 3. You all be well, be blessed, and have a good day. And this is my story.